Hey there, Thomas Cox with the third of a series. I'm sorry, this would be the fourth of a series of videos. It's the third part of the four-part accountability loop. Video one was the overview, and then we went through initiate, negotiate, and this one's about perform. Now, I said that negotiation is your last chance to solve the sowing the seeds of problems. There are some things you'll need to do during perform anyway, even if you have an excellent accountable agreement. Stuff happens. Suppliers fail us, you get a flat tire, whatever. Or you discover that there was something you thought was clear that wasn't, or you need the asker to make a decision. So it's crucial during performance that you ask for the things you need from your asker, the person you're doing this for, in a very structured way, so it's easy for them to reply. So during perform, phase 3, you're going to want to use a format we call the warm ABCs. We'll do a separate video on that. But in short, the warm ABCs are you warmly and kindly, in writing, in an email, send them a request that includes A, what you actually want, like a decision, like a choice, like an acknowledgement, whatever it may be, the actual thing you need. Don't make them guess what you want. In fact, you might write the email, go back, review it, figure out what you actually want, and insert that at the top. But it is a requests colon and then the thing you actually want. That's the A in the warm ABCs. B is by when, and C is the context and the consequence. And again, separate video detailing that. So you're in perform. You're trying to perform really well because you want to be an accountable partner and you have this accountable agreement and you want the asker to really like you and trust you and be very, very satisfied. So what do you need to do? You got to make sure you don't lose track of what the conditions of satisfaction are from the accountable agreement. Refer to it regularly. You may ask other people for help. You become an asker and they're a doer to you in these subloops, these subcontractor roles. Be very proactive. If they let you down, will you have time to recover and still deliver on your deadline? If your subcontractor lets you down, you must own your inputs. You don't tell the person you made a promise to, oh, I'm sorry I couldn't fulfill it, but this other guy let me down and I'm just a victim of the universe. There's nothing I can do. Nobody wants that kind of a result from someone who made a promise to them. Think about this. You ask me to do something, and I could come back one of two ways when a subcontractor fails me. I could say, gosh, I'm really sorry, but my subcontractor let me down and there wasn't time to fix it, so I guess he made me late. Or I could say, hey, I'm going to be late. I didn't leave enough time to manage my subcontractor properly. I should have put in more time for that, and I didn't. So I dropped the ball there. It won't happen again, but for now, here's where we're at, and here's what I'm doing. The first one, I sound like powerless, like you're not sure you could ever trust me to make an agreement and actually follow through, because I'm going to be like blown about by the wind. And in the second one, I sound like someone who's making stuff happen and is taking charge and creating results. And we all want that in the person who makes an agreement with us. So for heaven's sake, do that. So that's how to handle the subloops and to own your inputs. That's the phrase, own your inputs. Other things you want to do, in addition to the warm ABCs where you check in, have to do with looking at your other deliverables, make sure you've got good timelines. Are you sending in status reports and interim deliverables so they can check your work and make sure you haven't drifted off? And do frequently refer back to the conditions of satisfaction that were outlined in that accountable agreement. And remember, finally, perform doesn't finish until you have actually said, I'm done, here it is. You do the work, stick it in a folder and walk home, and then they don't know you're done. They're still waiting on you. You've got to make sure, and by the way, if this isn't in the negotiation, it should be, how would you like to be informed when I'm done? In what format would you like the final work? Where shall I put it? How shall I inform you? All crucial questions to make sure you've got answered. So then you follow through on that, you stick the folder in the file, you put it on the Dropbox, you send it in an email, you do whatever it is you do. And make sure you let them know and make sure they got that notice. Because there's nothing worse than doing the work and they don't know you've done it. Then you still look like a flake even though you've gone through all the effort of doing it. So now you're done with the work, you've sent the notice, you know they've received it, you're now no longer in perform, performance done. Yay you. I'm Thomas Cox, and that is phase 3 of the 4 phases of accountability. And that's going to be a big part of how you're going to show up as a highly trusted, highly accountable partner, and people are going to want to do business with you. Tune in for the next video.